Welcome to the 30-day Stoic Challenge from Stoic Vibes, a journey designed to sharpen your character, strengthen your emotional resilience, and help you live with clarity and purpose. This isn't just another habit tracker. It's a philosophical shift rooted in thousands of years of timeless wisdom from minds like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus. Each day presents a deliberate Stoic practice, a challenge not just to your routine but to your inner world. On day 1, we begin with clarity. Journaling the question, what is in my control today? By writing this in the morning and evening, we separate the external world from our internal reactions, sharpening the Stoic dichotomy of control. Day 2 brings silence. We challenge ourselves to speak only when necessary, embodying the Stoic idea of measured speech, because speech, once released, cannot be taken back, and silence often carries more power than noise. On day 3, the task is to observe discomfort without judgment. Whether it's the chill of cold water, a skipped meal, or standing in line, we observe the sensation, breathe through it, and realize how little of it actually harms us. Day 4 introduces negative visualization, a classic Stoic exercise where we imagine losing something, not to scare ourselves, but to increase gratitude. If you truly feel what it would be like to lose a loved one or your freedom, you begin to value them more deeply. Day 5 invites reflection on death, memento mori. Spend 5 minutes thinking about the impermanence of life, not in fear, but in fierce appreciation of today's opportunity. These first 5 days are about inner alignment. Like a sculptor chiseling away at marble, you're beginning to carve out the essence of a Stoic life, free of emotional noise and full of intention. Days 6 to 10, emotional mastery. As we move into days 6 through 10, the Stoic journey turns inward toward emotional mastery. Not the suppression of feelings, but the understanding and governance of them. On day 6, the challenge is to respond instead of react. Throughout the day, when emotions arise, whether annoyance, anger, or sadness, you pause and ask, what would the wise do now? Day 7 is about embracing voluntary discomfort. Take a cold shower, walk without a jacket, or sleep on the floor. This exercise reminds us that luxury makes us fragile, while adversity makes us stronger. Seneca said, "Set aside a certain number of days, during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare." On day 8, we explore intentional humility. Pick an action that tempers the ego, wear simple clothes, admit you don't know something, or serve others quietly. Ego is the enemy, as Ryan Holiday reminds us, and humility, the Stoic gateway to wisdom. Day 9 asks us to forgive someone fully, even if silently. Carrying resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other to suffer. Forgiveness is not weakness, it's a power move of detachment. On day 10, the challenge is to observe your judgments. For one full day, refrain from labeling anything as good or bad. When the mind wants to label something as unfair or terrible, you breathe and replace it with neutrality. This is how the Stoics practice the idea that events are not disturbing, our interpretation is. Through these 5 days, we begin to untangle ourselves from emotional chaos and emerge with a greater sense of agency over how we experience life. Days 11 to 15, cultivating inner strength and perspective. Now, we dive into the strength of perspective. Day 11 challenges us to practice gratitude stoically. Instead of a generic list of things you're thankful for, reflect on hardships you've survived, lessons learned from pain, and what the absence of blessings would feel like. This deepens gratitude into something not dependent on fleeting moods. Day 12 is for confronting envy. Today, observe every time you compare yourself to another, their success, wealth, relationships. Instead of resenting them, convert that energy into admiration and self-inquiry. Seneca wrote that we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Day 13 is about living with intention. Write down your values in the morning, then live each action in alignment with them. It's about congruence, the Stoic virtue of being the same in public and private. On day 14, we explore contempt for fame and fortune. The Stoics were indifferent to praise or blame, knowing both were beyond their control. Reflect today on how much your choices are influenced by others' opinions, and practice detachment. On day 15, go a full day without complaining. Catch yourself before every whine, moan, or sigh. Instead, shift to solutions, acceptance, or silence. Complaining weakens the will, and in Stoicism, the will is sacred. These days teach us not to just endure life but to engage with it from a position of power, not by controlling the world, but by mastering how we relate to it. Days 16 to 20, Stoic discipline and action. With the foundation laid, we now embody Stoic discipline. Day 16 is about delayed gratification. Choose one pleasure, food, scrolling, shopping, and delay it for 24 hours. Notice the mental resistance and feel your will strengthen. Day 17 is read Stoic wisdom aloud. Whether it's a line from meditations or letters from a Stoic, speak it out loud, internalize it, and carry it as a mantra. On day 18, practice frugality. For one day, spend nothing unnecessary. Reflect on your relationship with material comfort and your ability to live simply. Day 19 is for being of service. Help someone quietly, no reward, no credit. The Stoic sage is a servant of reason, not a seeker of applause. Seneca wrote that acts of kindness should be like a river, flowing naturally and without pride. On day 20, we challenge you to follow through fully on one task you've been avoiding. Procrastination is anti-Stoic, it denies the moment it's due. Whether it's a phone call, a chore, or an emotional conversation, take action. These 5 days forge the Stoic commitment to right action. Doing what must be done, not when it's easy, but especially when it's hard. Days 21 to 25, connection, self-examination, and acceptance. In this phase, we zoom out and look at the bigger picture, our relationships, our self-concept, our place in the cosmos. Day 21 is for mindful presence. Whatever you do, eating, walking, working, do it with your full attention. Epictetus taught that we lose ourselves by scattering our energy. Regain it. Day 22 is mirror honesty. Look at yourself and ask, where am I pretending? Where am I avoiding truth? Self-deception is the biggest enemy of self-mastery. On day 23, write a letter to your younger self from a Stoic point of view, compassionate, wise, and detached. This bridges the past with the present, reminding you of how far you've come and what truly matters. Day 24 brings the cosmic perspective. Spend time looking at the sky, the stars, or even a leaf. Remind yourself, you are part of a vast, ever-changing universe. Your problems shrink when seen from this height. Marcus Aurelius meditated on this often, the vast ocean of time and the insignificance of praise or pain. Day 25 is about radical acceptance. Accept something today you've been resisting, a flaw, a reality, a person. Let go of the fantasy of control and find peace in what is. These days aren't passive. They are powerful awakenings. To accept life as it comes, not bitterly, but bravely, is the highest Stoic strength. Days 26 to 30, final challenges for deep integration. As we enter the final leg of this Stoic journey, the focus now is on deep integration, turning ideas into lifelong habits and philosophical reflexes. On day 26, the challenge is to embrace solitude. Take at least an hour of the day to disconnect from all digital noise, human conversation, and external obligations. This is a time to sit with yourself, just you, your breath, and your thoughts. Solitude, to the Stoic, is not loneliness. It is an audience with the self. Marcus Aurelius found his strength not in crowds, but in the quiet of reflection. Day 27 is practice the premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. Imagine one thing going wrong today, a missed opportunity, a conflict, a delay. Visualize how you would calmly respond, not react. This mental rehearsal is not pessimism, it is mental armor. Day 28 demands a digital detox for 6 hours. Log out. Switch off. Step away. Use the time to walk, read, write, or just sit. Modern distraction is the new vice, and a Stoic mind is a focused one. Day 29 is about intentional presence in relationships. Every person you interact with, friend, stranger, or enemy, deserves your full attention. Listen without preparing your reply. Respond without ego. Let every interaction be a mirror to your inner state. Epictetus reminded us that how we treat others reflects how we govern ourselves. Finally, day 30 brings the ultimate challenge: live today as if it were your last. Not in reckless abandon, but with precision, care, and intention. Speak kind words. Waste no time. Do the meaningful thing. The Stoics constantly contemplated mortality to heighten the value of every breath, every moment, every act of virtue. By the end of day 30, you're not just practicing Stoicism, you're living it. Not as a script, but as your natural state of being. The Stoic mind, reflecting on the 30 days. Now that you've walked through 30 days of Stoic challenge, reflection becomes essential. What changed? What resisted change? What thoughts no longer haunt you? Which desires lost their grip? This paragraph is about more than reviewing habits, it's about witnessing your transformation. Think of yourself on day 1, hesitant, curious, maybe overwhelmed. Now compare that to the version of yourself here, after 3 weeks of rigorous introspection, intentional discomfort, sharpened judgment, and moral clarity. If you did this earnestly, you now understand that Stoicism is not about coldness or detachment, it's about heat without rage, focus without force, acceptance without apathy. You've trained your will to be stronger than your impulses. You've witnessed the wild unpredictability of life and realized that it is your response, not the event, that shapes your reality. And most importantly, you've gained awareness. Stoic practice is awareness in motion. It's walking through life with your eyes open, your breath steady, your values unshaken. The 30-day Stoic challenge was a map. You followed it step by step. But now, you no longer need to be told where to go, the compass is within. You don't fear the storm, you are the sailor who knows how to steer through it. The world didn't change in 30 days, you did. Stoic vibes, a lifetime of practice starts now, and so here we are, the final day of this structured journey, but the first day of your real journey as a modern Stoic. Stoicism is not a one-time challenge or intellectual hobby. It's a way of seeing, being, and becoming. Now that you've equipped yourself with this timeless armor, don't hang it back in the closet. Wear it every day, when things go well and when they don't. Let the morning start with, what's in my control today? Let the evening close with, what could I have done better? Let silence speak louder than reaction. Let compassion coexist with boundaries. Let resilience walk hand in hand with reason. The Stoic path is not about perfection, it's about progress through virtue. It's about living a life of integrity even when no one's watching. The habits you've built over these 30 days, journaling, stillness, reflection, delayed gratification, inner clarity, are seeds. Water them. Let them grow until they bloom into a lifestyle. Here at Stoic Vibes, we will continue to explore the modern application of ancient truths. More reflections. More lessons. More reminders that you are not your feelings, not your past, not your possessions, you are your choices. Remember, amor fati, love your fate. Not because it's easy, but because it's yours. Memento mori, because life is finite, and every second is a decision. And finally, live with a rete. The Stoic pursuit of excellence in every action. Subscribe, stay present, and walk with us as we continue to cultivate wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, together, one day at a time.